Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today we're going to be looking at one of my favourite Pokemon and how you can make a pretty good deck, honestly, out of it. Something I did not think was going to happen. We saw Mimikyu, this is the new one from the premium track, and it's 70 HP Psychic with one ability, or attack should I say, Shadow Hit, which is deal 60. This attack also deals 20 damage to one of your Pokemon. You do get to choose, it can do it to itself or it can do it to something on the bench. Now, I wish Mimikyu was a little bit better. I was hoping for something like Safeguard or Disguise being an ability for Mimikyu. However, this is better than I thought. Today, I gave this a go. I tried to build a deck, and I actually had a really good run. There's definitely a few tough matchups, which we'll get to in a minute, but it was surprisingly strong. There were some matchups you kind of just crush through. So let's take a look at the rest of the deck. It's going to be 2 Mimikyus, 1 Sandygast, 1 Palossand, because the supporter card we'll talk about in a second affects Palossand as well, and then 2 Gueritinas. Now, the idea behind this is Mimikyu unfortunately requires 2 energy to attack, but if you go first, you can use your Gueritina to get an energy, and then on turn 2, give the energy to Mimikyu from your pool, and then use Dawn, which we run 2 of, to give that extra energy to Mimikyu and start dealing 60 pretty fast, while still having that Gueritina in the back. And because this is psychic energy, you don't have to like pass every turn with Gueritina to give it energy. You can just give it manually once you've got a Mimikyu set up and good to go. So those are the Pokemon. Again, Sandygast and Palossand, they're there because you always want a target for Mimikyu's Shadow Hit that isn't a Gueritina, right? Because it puts Gueritina in weird situations if you have to hit it. But this means that you've got 3 targets possible that are, you can have available. The Mimikyu that's actually doing the attack, if you can survive the next hit, and then a Palossand. Something to bear in mind though, the Sandygast does not have the ability to be used with the supporter Acerola. It is exactly Palossand, so something you do just have to be a little bit aware of. But there's a lot of health on Palossand and even a decent amount on Sandygast, so it can soak the hits and you can just wait to evolve it and then use Acerola later. Round out the rest of the deck, there's an X speed just to help out with some of these awkward retreats, and also to try and get Mimikyu in if you can. 2 Pokeballs, 2 Poison Barbs, because they just help push a little bit extra damage. And I feel like Poison Barb, the more I've played it, is pretty good in this rare candy meta, because a lot of the time, let's say there's a Litten on the board, and then they go Incineroar. Well, they want Incineroar attack, right? Which means they're probably going to hold on that poison for the rest of the game, or the rest of that Pokemon being there anyway, so it's pretty strong. 2 Research, 2 Dawn, because moving energy around is super important to be able to just give those Mimikyus the 2 energy as quickly as possible. 2 Acerolas, because this card is busted, I'll talk about it in a minute. Sabrina, a Mars to just help control the sort of out of hand hands that can happen, which sounds a bit weird, but just try and stop your opponent just gathering a huge hand and then popping off. So Mars can help a lot. And then Guzma, just because removing tools is really strong, whether it's removing tools from Skarmory so you don't have to hit into a Rocky Helmet, or removing like capes and stuff to effectively kind of deal more damage. Just talking about the sort of star of the show, as well as Mimikyu, of course, is Acerola. This card is pretty big. It's better than I thought it was. If Mimikyu just gets attacked by a basic for, say, 20, you can attack for effectively 80 the turn after, because you do 60 from the Mimikyu, use Acerola to move the 20 you have to the active Pokemon on their side. So it's a heal up to 40 and deal up to 40 in one card, which is very strong. Also, something to bear in mind for those revenge Pokemon like Marshadow and the new Oricorio, the psychic one, or one of the psychic ones. Knocking something out with Acerola doesn't proc the revenge trigger because it's not an attack. So that's something that I didn't really think about, but came in useful today on stream. So yeah, if you can just make sure Mimikyu doesn't get itself knocked out or stack damage on something on the bench, this is huge. It just adds more and more damage to your hits. It's almost like at worst like a red on demand. because again, this can work from Pokemon on bench as well. This does not have to be on your active Pokemon. It can be a Mimikyu on the bench, it can be a Palossand on the bench. You can spend time stacking that and then push an extra 40, which can make Mimikyu, if it's in your front, do up to 60 damage in 60 damage plus 40, so 100 damage in one turn with an Acerola. So really, really cool list overall. A lot of fun and way better than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to play a few games just so I can show you sort of how it plays and some of the things you want to look for, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, here we go. These are Ultra Ball 3 games. No, maybe Ultra Ball 2. No, Ultra Ball 3, I think. Yeah, I think these are Ultra Ball 3 games. Yeah, there we go, Ultra Ball 3. I don't know why I had to question so much then when I realized it says it on the start. I've been playing this deck as well as many others, so we'll see how it goes. A lot of people in Ultra Ball 3 obviously were like Master Ball last season, so pretty good players, and a lot of them have been bringing pretty good decks. We are going to start against a Gueritina though, and we do have the Mimikyu, but our opponent's going first, which is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. We do have two Acerolas. The good thing is we know that Gueritina isn't going to push damage early, so we're pretty happy to even self-damage this Mimikyu with Shadow Hit if we can. So then we can push, you know, maximum damage. And again, 60 is no joke. This is, with an Acerola, this can just 3-shot Gueritina. I'm going to start Pokeball. We are against Darkrai Gueritina, I think, which... maybe not the best matchup because this deck runs a lot of heal, so it can be a little bit awkward. The Rocky Helm, weirdly enough, oh, they're playing this version as gay. They're playing the Greninja version. This might be a little bit tricky, but we'll see how it goes. So we get Pokeball. Hopefully this is Gueritina. It is not. It is the other Mimikyu. We have Dawn and Poison Barb. Not the best. I'll put the Poison Barb on just so it's empty in the hand a little bit. We'll put the energy on this Mimikyu and then play this one. And I'll leave the Poison Barb off this because there's a world where they Sabrina this to buy time, thinking I can't activate this Mimikyu. But obviously we have the Dawn in hand, so that's something that is possible. But they're more likely to Sabrina it if it doesn't have the Poison Barb attached to it as well. So we'll hold on to the Poison Barb for that, for now. Well, this is depressing. Okay. Okay, they missed. It's fine. Okay. That can be a problem. If they, like, tempo remove your energy like that from the Mimikyu, that can be a little bit rough. Because... what do we want to do? Okay. It can be a little bit rough because you need the 2 energy. And especially without Gueritina, it can hurt a little bit here. So I will equip the other Barb now. This is going to be a rough game, though, because we don't have Gueritina, so we don't have that backup. But I should, unless they have Rare Candy, which scares me a little bit, I think I'm going to attack, and I'll put the 20 damage on this Mimikyu, just so this takes as minimal damage as possible. So we go down to 30. If they have Rare Candy and Greninja, we probably lose. But if they don't, we can knock out this Gueritina if it doesn't heal. Oh, they're locking in very fast. I feel like they might have the Greninja. Or not. Okay, this is so good, right? This is a good example. Although we've not had the Gueritina, so we might lose this game because we just didn't have access to Gueritina early to start giving that energy. However, this isn't looking half bad. We can put energy on the Gueritina now. We can Acerola the Mimikyu. And that's looking pretty good because now we can just knock out. So we've gone Mimikyu plus Supporter for the Gueritina, which is a decent trade, I think. And we will do the damage to this Mimikyu because this Darkrai is likely to come in and knock this out. So then this Mimikyu, we can Acerola off this to deal 40 on here. To try and soften it up for the Gueritina. Because we're probably going to save this Mimikyu now and just not actually attach energy to it. Because it wouldn't be enough to actually get through the Darkrai. And what's good now is we can, if they knock this out and it's clean, we can Acerola and just use Bella to go up to 3 energy, and then next turn we get 4 bang. Again, this deck could run a lot of healing, however, it probably doesn't run as much healing as the original versions because they need space for Froakie and Greninja and rare candies, right? So they are just going to have to attack. Not bad. So now it's poisoned, and unless they have a way to heal it, or if they want to retreat, but if they retreat, the Gueritina does all the work, right? So we can bring this Mimikyu in now. The damage is starting to tick, which is what we want. We don't do a lot of big damage. The big damage is only really Gueritina, but this starts to really stack up. So we can put the energy on Gueritina. Ordering's important because I get confused sometimes, but we Acerola again, which is going to basically heal this Mimikyu back up. So now it won't get knocked out to just the taps. It's dealt even more damage to this Darkrai now. And we can just Bellow. And the Darkrai is going to get dealt another 10. So Darkrai going down to 80. That's going to be relatively hard to heal out of range from. And also, if we really need it, we can actually Dawn and attach energy to Mimikyu if we really want the attack for whatever reason. I wonder if they're going to retreat now. Oh, yeah, that's it. I was gonna say we can see we've got the X speed there, so we can X speed attach and just go. We could have Dawn the energy and attack with the Mimikyu. So yeah, not looking bad. Not bad, honestly, considering that was a bit of a ropey game. But hopefully that one really showed the power of, even if you're in a rough spot, Acerola kind of, along with the Mimikyu damage, starts to do some work. It really does. Okay, here we go again. Just coming off the back of the win versus the Darkrai, Gueritina, Greninja. This is more like it. We're going first. We have the Gueritina. We could pop off here and start going really aggro. It depends what they're playing. Okay, they're playing Weedle into Beedrill with rare candies, I imagine, which can be a little bit rough. We'll put the Poison Barb on the Mimikyu. Because the way I think about an early Barb like this is we have the good setup, and if they Guzma the Barb away, then they're not doing research, they're not doing Sabrina, they're not doing these more annoying supporters. But we're going to do our annoying supporter. Double Dawn now. Okay, research into Dawn research. So now we can do our Bellow, get 1 energy on turn 1. This is what's cool about the deck as well. It can weirdly be better going first because of this combination. And they literally can't evolve this Weedle. They would need a cape right now. And Grass obviously gained an extra cape this expansion, so they could well have it. You probably do run that card in Beedrill. There we go. So I am a little bit scared now, honestly, because if they rare candy into Beedrill, there's a problem here. So I've got to work out what I actually want to do. It's a little bit terrifying. The cape. Always a disaster. And this is something that can be a little bit of a problem with this deck sometimes, is you can get a little bit stuck because we run a lot of supporters. Oh, they've got to have a lot of cards. If they evolve and attack... I think I'll attach. And I think I'll Sabrina this turn to bring the smaller Weedle up and see what they do. Because now they need to retreat this, put this one in, and attach for Beedrill if they want to hit me on curve. So I think we'll just chill and do this and use this time to just gain a bit more energy. I will say Weedle into Beedrill with Rare Candy is pretty scary because obviously it one-taps Mimikyu. Okay, they've evolved. It one-taps Mimikyu, right? It can be a little bit dicey. So they're going to Sabrina us now. Okay. It's a little bit scary. We need them to miss this. They did not miss. Okay. So we effectively missed the turn. We can still bellow, though. So it's not the end of the world. We do have Sandygast and Palossand, though. We can't retreat, so I think we bellow. If they go Beedrill and hit us, that sucks. We lose an energy, but we could Dawn and attack back. Yeah, this is going to be rough. And there's elements here where if you... Oh, that hurts. Well, if you... Although, what's that? I guess there was no need to not play it. But this is one of the issues where it can be a little bit rough, honestly, to not play Leaf in the deck. Okay, so let's evolve the Palossand. Let's... Let me think. Oh, okay. This is a little bit tricky. This is tricky because of the heals. Okay, I think I'm going to retreat. We're just going to hard retreat into Mimikyu. We're going to attach an energy onto Gueritina. Out on the healthy one, and hope they don't have Cyrus. And then we're going to shadow hit, I think. Because if this gets bounced again, we'll just have to deal with it. We will put this on the Palossand because this gives us Acerola for 20. But again, if you don't like X speed, you could probably run Leaf in this deck instead of X speed. Oh, there we go. The only thing that's a bit concerning with Leaf instead of X speed is it's another supporter, and we're already pretty heavy. We do get to poison this though. So now we're slightly concerned about Cyrus. We'll put in the Palossand while we gain energy. I think we put it on here because this is already poisoned. I'll attach an energy here. We will Acerola for 20 to swap 20-20, which is nothing amazing, but better than nothing, right? This Beedrill can't actually knock out this Palossand, and at this point, there's no real reason not to play the Mimikyu, and you know, sort of a just-in-case scenario. And I will Broken Bellow this. They haven't played Rare Candy yet, so I'm getting a bit scared the deeper we go in the deck. There's a big heal on the Erica, which sucks. Okay, Palossand can just take it. If we get... And here's what's crazy. If we get another Acerola now, which we don't, we could have just pushed another 40 and healed for 40, which would have kept Palossand alive for another turn, which is kind of nutty. I will, however, go for the Guzma. I will attach the energy to Gueritina, and then we have options next turn. Let's go Bellow again. So we're staying in this. Like, Palossand, not the best card in the game, but in this deck, I think you can't not play it with Acerola. Oh, okay, there's Cyrus. So that's going to beat us, which is a little bit unfortunate. We got in a bit of a tricky situation there. Honestly, the cape without the Guzma kind of just did us in a little bit. It made things a little bit tricky. And then obviously the paralyze on the Gueritina was a little bit unfortunate. But I am going to show games where I lose in this, by the way, guys, because I think there's no point in me cherry picking games in which I destroy people and say the deck's good. I would rather show you what the deck's actually like on, you know, what's classed as high rank at the moment because it's day one of ranked, and show you what like the actual results are. Okay, here we go. We're going first. We're against Electric. So they might be leaning on Oricorio, in which we're reasonably positioned to deal with it, honestly, because we have these Mimikyus. Ooh. Oh, if I get Gueritina. If I get Gueritina into Dawn, we're going to love life. Well, there's the Gueritina bit. Poison Barb over here. There's a world where we could have held on to Poison Barb in case they Sabrina us. Because it does kind of suck if we get Sabrinaed, but... Okay, second Mimikyu's pretty big. We don't have the Dawn yet, but we run 2 and there's only 11 cards in the deck right now. So let's do let's Bellow, end the turn and see what they do. The Magnemite probably doesn't just ram for 10 just to get poisoned. I would be surprised at least. They've also got research. They can start digging too. Something we're going to have to bear in mind as well is if they drop Oricorio, we basically can't go Mimikyu, Gueritina, which we'd normally want to. The Sandygast is a nice pickup. However, it's a bit unfortunate we don't have the Dawn, which is a bit of a shame. There it is. Not that it matters as much now. There was a world as well where we could have Mars there, but I did just want to like Giga progress the hand. We'll probably Mars next turn, because if they didn't play any basics that turn, it's likely they don't have them, and if they do a Magneton now, we can just... Wow. Okay. If they do Magneton now, we can just Mars next turn, right? That is a lot of cards. Oh, and Poke... They have 7 cards left in the deck. I guess we're on 8, to be fair. Yeah, we did double research at Pokeball as well. It's pretty fair. Oh, Pachirisu. This attack's crazy though, right? Because we just get to knock them out. There's Oricorio. Okay. And Rare Candy onto Zone. I wonder where they're going here. So they give 1 energy there. They still can't attack next turn. There's another Acerola, which we like a lot. Remember, you cannot put the damage on Sandygast if you don't have the evolution ready, if you need the Acerola sort of on curve. So... is this Mars worth it anymore? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to just Shadow Hit for 60 and knock this Pachirisu out. I'm going to put the damage on the other Mimikyu. It does have to be on a Mimikyu or a Palisand if you want to Acerola. But this should be okay. Because they can't generate extra, right? Unless I'm missing something, maybe? I don't know. Okay, this is nice. So we have Guzma. We have Dawn. The energy is probably going to go on to Gueritina. Well, I've got to work out what I want to do here. Do we need the energy on Gueritina? If we go 60... yeah, we need the energy on Gueritina, don't we? For now, then we can retreat and then Dawn. Yeah, this looks fine, actually. Energy on Gueritina. We have 2 Acerolas. So I could push even more damage because we have a second one. So I think I will do this. This is only 10. But I just want to push all the damage you want. Because, again, with supporters, you can only play 1 per turn. And we run a lot. So use them when you can if you think it's not going to be a huge hindrance, right? So we can deal 60 now. It deals 20 to the Mimikyu. And if they, like, Cyrus this Mimikyu, like, fine, right? So let's go down to 60. This turn, we can do 40 just with Acerola. Let's bring it out. We should be fine. This doesn't just solo us completely, right? Sorry, guys, I'm thinking. Let's go Pokeball, because we do need to have a way to deal with this. I'm working out whether we want to, like, what we actually want to do here. We might be okay. If we Acerola back up to 70... we should be fine. So let's just do it. I'm just trying to work out when and how I want the Mimikyu to work. So Mimikyu gets to heal to full. We can Gueritina this, which is fine. We may as well play the other Gueritina just in case we need it as a tank. And then we just impact and get this Magnezone out of here. And we do have the Rocky Helmet removal with Guzma here as well. So if they like Rocky Helm this, which makes the Mimikyu fight a little bit weird, we should still be okay. I think Poison Barb would be the best pickup for us right now. If we had Poison Barb that turn, this is really good because we could attach the Barb to Giratina. So if the Oricorio attacks Giratina, it gets poisoned. So even though the Giratina can't damage Oricorio, the poison will do the job, right? And they... oh, yeah, I just realized they didn't really have anything for us there, did they? This is really good then. So we can retreat, bring in the Mimikyu. We can energy. And I actually think we Poison Barb this. Because if they pull this in with Cyrus, we just Poison Barb... they get poisoned, right? And then we can Dawn an energy from the Giratina to the Mimikyu. Because, again, it's important to have a way to beat Oricorio. We deal 60. We'll put the damage onto the Sandygast because we're getting low to the deck, so we'll have the potential evolve for this to keep it safe. And now this Oricorio's got work to do. It might even have to retreat, because I'm not sure what heals they're going to have. Like, a cape doesn't help them. They can't knock out the Mimikyu no matter what. So I think we've positioned ourselves pretty well. And having the raw damage output from the Mimikyu has been really nice. And again, it's one of those things with the Poison Barb. You might think, oh, if you attach it, they just Guzma it. Well, if they Guzma it, they can't Sabrina it. Right? So you set up those traps where they can't do both good things. So if they do one good thing, that's not enough for it to actually win them the game. And I think they're just trapped, honestly. Even if they knock out this... okay, so they have Pachirisu. X-speed it in. Fine. It still causes the same problem, though, right? Mimikyu's still looking strong. There's Power Sand, so this can just be there to be ultra safe. I feel like we're safe no matter what we do. So I'm going to attach the energy here. I'm going to Mars their hand down a little bit. And then again, we're just going to Shadow Hit. This Pachirisu can't survive, so we Shadow Hit onto the Palisand and just... the Palisand, if we had a second Acerola and we didn't not throw the other one away, but utilize the other one, let's say, and get it used to heal the Mimikyu, then this would be insane, right? Because Palisand now would just deal 40 with Acerola to whatever's in the front, which would make our Mimikyu attack effectively do 100. Iono, sure, they're digging for who knows what at this point. Sabrina's huge for us now, because if they retreat this into even a Magneton, it doesn't matter. So we're going to Volt Charge, probably attach and retreat. Yeah, definitely something to bear in mind with this meta. If you see Electric, be aware that you might need a way to deal with an Oricorio. So, you know, this kind of worked out pretty well for us. We could just use the Sabrina now. The sort of one-off Sabrina in the deck just to help get the job done in certain matchups, especially when we have the high damage of Gueritina. And that's going to be a victory. So yeah, there's a few games there, guys. I played 3 in a row, believe it or not. I know it'll be cut because I don't want you just sitting waiting while I queue another game. But we just played 3 games in a row, 2 wins, 1 loss. Again, I didn't want to, you know, hide the losses and show you what the perfect games look like and pretend it's the best deck that was ever made. But my goal was to make a deck with Mimikyu that felt pretty strong, and this really does. I think one of the bad matchups is probably Solgaleo. If they get to Solgaleo pretty fast, we don't often have the damage output to deal with it, but that's where you try and like Sabrina the Cosmo into the active or something. And that's probably the worst matchup I've faced so far. Everything else feels really, really winnable. So I went on a positive run on ladder today, and also went 2-1 on this. So yeah, that was the Mimikyu deck, guys. Mimikyu is a huge favorite of mine. You maybe can tell why. And yeah, I wanted to make a deck that did well with it, and it seems to do well. So let me know if you try this out. Let me know what you think, or let me know any decks you've played or put together that has used some Pokemon maybe people didn't think was that good, but turned out pretty well. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.